So just before I start this, guys, I wanted to show you the different styles, or three of them anyway, of block paving that you can do. So this first one, that's called a basket weave. It's because it looks like a basket weave. This one is herringbone. You can see how the bricks are set there, sort of end on end, I suppose. And this one is a stretcher bond, so you've got half to start you off and then a full. You see how it's intersected by a half bond, so it's called a stretcher bond or a half bond. So that's the different styles. I'm going to go for a basket weave because with herringbone there's a lot of cuts and she's not that fussed, so I'm just gonna do the basket weave. Okay, so let's show you how I set the level of the sand. So the first thing you need to do is to just make sure that the level of the sand is the right height. So how do you do this? Well, I use a float. It's only a little area, so there'll be other guys that do it differently, I'm sure, if they're doing it on an industrial scale, but this is only just a little area, so I'm being a bit of a fuss pot on this. So just make sure that your brick, you see how that's a little bit high. That's too high there. So just drag the brick along until you get it to the right height. And if anything, it just wants to be slightly proud, because don't forget you're gonna whack this whole area down again with a whacker plate, which I've done already, guys. I didn't show that bit, but that's all been done. So just get your brick and just make sure that it's the right height. You can sort of scrape that. You can use the brick actually just to pat it down. These blocks, just the border was put in yesterday, so it's still quite soft. So, and then using your level, so I just had a little level over there because it was quite narrow. You want to get an overall height. Again, just use the, you can see there's a little bit of mortar there. That's fine. And then just using a little bit of clean sand. I want to just toss a little bit over the area, tap it down, and just lightly do it, lightly scrape over it with your float. A bit more sand there. Try to, when you're dragging it that way, you're just lifting it slightly like that, not that much, just barely. So that way, and lift it that way. It's all about pressure. As I say, I'm being a little bit fussy here. Okay. See how that's going in. That's a little bit low there. So, a little bit of sand. In fact, those are all just a little bit. And you have to put a half in there, a couple of halves. I did cut a couple of halves. Where did I put them? There they go. You can see where the block splitter has split that. It's a little bit proud, so you have to chip that back. Don't stand on your sand, by the way. And if I can just do this with the brick hammer. Doesn't matter if you break the underside of it off, so that's not going to be seen, obviously. Okay, that'll do. Now I don't know that that's not a 90-degree angle, so I'm going to have to be careful. I think that comes that way, that end, so there's going to be a series of cuts along here. So I'm just going to concentrate on this area here first. So I know this is all prepped and ready to go, so it's just a case of placing your brick. You might want as well. You want that to be spot on since it starts now. We have probably used it. So just nice and tight. See how I'm placing the block now, placing it down. So it's really nice and tight. Same levels there. Same with it. Once you get the levels right, it's down. Okay, so you just keep working your way across. I'll show you how to do a couple of it. That's just a tiny little chip off the edge there. So do that with bolster. That's how we look. Just a tiny spot. There you go. Okay. Okay, so now we know that that's pretty flat. You just fill in the holes. There's a few holes over there. You just drag that across. As you go over it with the float, you'll see there's some low spots. And just fill them, just take a little bit of sand. There's a bit of a low spot there. And just use the excess out there. Just turn it. So I'm just going to float. This is the low on top. Just there. So this one down. So maybe I'll drop it here. And there you go. So now let's start to lay our bricks. Okay, and we need a half. Sometimes that you see you've got to trim it up a bit more. And that will do, I think. Right, let's drag the stuff over a bit further. new cracks there. That's okay. That's what we're going to do with that. You want to make sure that you get a nice cross like that. I told you that. All this now. And all that. So that's the bulk of it done. Now all I've got is the cuts to do. Loads and loads of cuts. So I think I'll probably come back to you and show you after it's done. So on to the last bit of this lock blocking. Just show you how to do the cuts. So put a block underneath so that you can set the block exactly where it's going to go, and then just line up your other blocks. Tiny little bit in the corner there. You can see that I'm just using the offcuts as well. And then all you do is just eye it through with a level. This level is a bit bent because I left it on the ground and hit it with a machine. Alright, so you're looking down at it and then just mark it like that. And then put your ear defenders on, glasses on. Okay. Let's take this all off. You to hear me otherwise. So take your blocks out. Sometimes you'll get a little chip at the bottom. You should just knock that off. No, it's that way. So light through again. You want to leave a half a mil just away from the actual line. So it's tight. Okay. Right.
Right, this is a little bit trickier because you're going around quite a tight bend, so you have to curve the line a little bit. So it's almost like you've got to sight it through. So in order to achieve the right distance here, you can measure back and number it. 200. Just see how that lines up.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Right. Put the mouse back on so I'm going to send myself over again. Very forcefully, will you? You good?
Right, of dust. Well, that's looking pretty good. Happy with that. So I've just got to brush some sand in, not this stuff, some kiln dried sand. I had a little bit left over from another job, so you can see it just fills up the gaps nicely. But the next job is what to do about this here. So you've got this little seam along here which needs to be filled. Now I'm going to show you a little trick. Well, first of all, just to basically match in with the tarmac. So I use just on the edge here, on the tarmac edge, once I've cemented it all up, I use some black masonry paint, which I used, funnily enough, on another job just down this road, and it still looks pretty awesome. So yeah, we'll show you how to do this next. This is the last bit of the block paving. So kiln dried sand, it's really fine, it's almost like dust, and what you want to do is fill up all these gaps, because otherwise there will be movement. So that's what we're going to do, just sweep it in. Normally you would whack it all down, but to be honest, it's such a small area, I'm not going to bother doing that on this one. So if it was a driveway, I would do this, but this is just a little parking area for a motorcycle, so it's not really necessary. So just work it in until it's nice and dry. It will, you can see it falls into joints. Nice, dry some later this week. See how this falls down cracks? We'll get lost in the wood. See how this falls down gaps. Just one. holes in my bag. Can't get it in the bag. So the first thing you want to do is PVA this edge here. Just want to get a really nice bond for this the mortar that's going to go in. So just use a contractor's universal PVA glue. I've pre-diluted this to 4:1. The instructions are on the back there though. They're quite helpful. So and what I'm going to do is mix the mortar up in this bucket afterwards so that the PVA is mixed through the mortar as well. So just spread it deliberately on there. It doesn't come to seam. Okay, so that's done. Wash my brush out. Okay, so next you want to mix up the mortar. I'm going to put a bit more in there just for good measure. So I'm going to make this up quite strong. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not mixing this up in the mixer because it's just, when you've got a tiny little bit, it doesn't mix very well. 1, 2. All right. So that's 4:2. Just mix that through. Easy on water, water. Not too much water because last time I brought water and then you have a really soft mix. This wants to be a little stiff. Soften up. Okay, ready to apply. Try that. Just feed it in the crack. Now you can see why I'm working. I'm just not. So I'm working towards myself because I do that. You can force it into the gap.
perfect area for doing this. It's not too sunny, but the sun will be out very soon. By which time I will cover that with plastic, because you don't want water drying out too quick, because it'll just crack. You can see all the edges a bit. It's a bit rough, but I'll show you the technique afterwards. I'll show you how to get a nice smooth finish, just sort of feathering it in. Doing that. Keep on the right, can't go here. I need to do it. Almost a ramp. Almost done. And we can say right. Right. So.
Okay, so some people have said to me, oh, why don't you do it with a sponge? But actually you don't get a nice crisp line with a sponge, but you do with a paintbrush. So just imagine that you're painting, and first of all let's just clean the bricks up, and then what you want to do is just brush lightly over the top. Just keep cleaning your brush, and you're kind of wiping it into it like that. So just brush over the top lightly and just brush it so the cement just fades in. So brush over the top first, and then just feather it in. Just wipe this mortar off the bricks, and then brush across the top. And then just go back and just sort of feather it in like that. And that is it, folks. Show you a bit closer. And the last thing to do is make sure you cover it up, because you can see the sun is out now, and if that sun is left to shine on that, it will wreck the cement work. So just make sure you cover it up, and plus if it rains it'll spoil it as well. So always make sure that you cover your work up, winter or summer. So that's it, guys.